So, 100 Gecs, the band that everyone and their mother generally seem to either really like or really despise. The proclaimed pioneers of hyperpop put out their long-awaited second studio album, 10,000 Gecs, nearly 4 years after their breakout 1,000 Gecs. And I'm here to tell you that they came back harder than any act has in years, and that it was worth the wait and then some. Their debut album, 1,000 Gecs, dropped in 2019, is generally considered the birth of hyperpop, the craziest and best subgenre of pop music. Also, digicore, which came to prominence later, but that's not what the video is about. People either hated it or loved it, no in between, for good reasons. 1,000 Gecs is as weird as all get out and was at the time unlike anything ever before in pop music. Except the actual pioneering of hyperpop came from the pop label PC Music and more prominently Sophie and A.G. Cook. But that's again a video for another day. 1,000 Gecs was abrasive, weird, sugary sweet, and filled to the brim with auto-tunage and crunkcore inspired production that was maxed out to the absolute max. The album took left turn after left turn, foraying into dubstep and nu metal on one track, HRDB Cloud, bubblegum bass and pop anthems on others, ringtone, 745 Sticky, ska punk, Stupid Horse, and even a vaporwave style track, Hand Crushed by a Mallet. So, after having such a wild and unhinged debut album that sprawled all over the place, what did they follow it up with? Well, they released a remix album comprised of remixes of 1,000 Gecs that just continued that crazy direction, but with more firepower and fuel and money backing it. They had signed to Atlantic Records in 2020 and released that remix album through them. They were set to release 10K Gecs in 2021. They had even made a tour for it in 2021 as well. The album was set to drop sometime that year. 2021 came and we got one single brand new song that entire year, Me 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 Me. It's nothing too crazy, but it was a great single nonetheless. No album though. Then 2022 rolled in and announced the album was dropping early that year. Early 2022 came by, still nothing. I was starting to lose hope, and I'm pretty sure everyone else was. Maybe they were pranking us and trolling us because they seemed to have that kind of energy to them. But nope, unfortunately it never released. But then there was light yet again at the end of the tunnel. They released an EP in December 2022 and announced the long-awaited 10K Gecs was dropping in early 2023. And here we are, nearly 2 weeks after the release of it. Like I mentioned earlier, 10K Gecs is just an incredible album. It just feels like a perfect continuation of the sound they're known for, while still bringing new sounds and expanding on them too at the same time. But there's one thing that's been sitting on my mind since it dropped. Do people consider this a pop sellout album or a mainstream sellout album? I know a lot of people who do and who would say that. Heck, even some of my friends have said that basically in a nutshell. But is it really? Yes, it is. But does that make it bad? No, not by any means. In fact, I'd say this is an incredibly inventive and super original major label debut for Gecs, as they did not truly sell out, pick up popular sounds. Instead, I think they doubled down on their oddness and just got even weirder and more out there musically. 10K Gecs is bold and is an inverse of 1,000 Gecs. Instead of taking the sounds they birthed on 1,000 Gecs and flipping the genres and they played and toyed with, more so is the prominent sounds here, while still employing digicore and hyperpop aesthetics and sounds here. Before I go any further, wonder why it took so long for this to drop? Well, Atlantic didn't like what they were doing. And before going any further, this is my interpretation and may or may not be wrong. So don't comment and tell me that I'm stupid or something like that. They tried to make Gecs conform to more popular sounds and make less experimental and abrasive music, and did not let them drop the album for the longest time. And this latter half of what I said actually has been confirmed by Gecs themselves several times throughout their tour. And I think Gecs just gave them the bird and did not change a thing about the record. Absolute Chad energy from Laura Les and Dylan Brady. This is what I was referring to. It is a mainstream sellout album, but done in their own way. They made an album that they legitimately enjoyed making and refused to let the big cogs of the culture industry machine crush them and conform them. Anyway, 10K Gecs is just as solid and original as their debut. It is more mature too. Laura and Dylan have grown a lot as people since 1,000 Gecs, and it shows through their lyricism and what they have said in interviews since. I also want to touch down on Laura being based and showing those dirty, trashy transphos that she can sing without heavy use of auto-tune, and man does her unedited or minimally edited vocals sound great here. The nu metal breakdown on Billy Knows Jamie desperately makes me want a Limp Bizkit and Gecs collab. because it goes so hard, dude. The ska punk tracks here, got my teeth removed, frogs on the floor, and Doritos and Fritos are also incredible and make me yearn for a ska revival and an entirely ska-based Gecs albums. At times, the album also reminded me of the colorful production of Mr. Bungle's self-titled and how frenetic and chaotic sounding it is. Hollywood Baby reminds me of a Green Day track, a good one from the 90s, and in general of good alt-rock and pop-punk tracks. The album ends with Me, 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 and it honestly is the perfect ending for the album. Likewise, the opener, Dumbest Girl Alive, is the perfect opener for the album, setting the stage for what is to come throughout the craziness that is 10K. Even the more interlude track, $1 Million, is great, and is an echo of 1,000 Gecs I Need Help Immediately, except better. All in all, 10K Gecs is a heck of a major debut album from Gecs, and its success has proved that they cannot be stopped. They're still going strong no matter the obstacles they face, whether it's their own literal label trying to stop them, or haters hating their music or even the vocals. They will continue to be themselves even if other people don't approve. We need more artists like that, willing to push the medium. That's all the time I got today. Thanks for watching, and please consider liking and subscribing, because it would mean a lot to me, and let me know whether to keep going or not. Comment your favorite track from this below, or tell me if I am missing something about this. I always read my comments. I'm heading off to the stars. See you guys next time. Bye.